Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wind for the Canada 9-hole Cup, a mix of the Lake Wabasca and the Maple Bay. Before we take a closer look at all the content here in this playthrough, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that do want to take the next step in your game, you can, for as low as $1.50, get our shootout guides, like tour guides, checkpoint challenge guides and tournaments guides. So scan the QR code here on the screen or use the link patreon.com/golfclashtommy that is in the description down below. You can follow the info box on the right hand side for the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also a ball and club I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. Hole number 8 is a long par 4. Headwind and crosswind is not fun on this one. I would like you to play with the big topper if you have that possibility. This as getting all the top spinner would be helpful. Then you can do a double bounce as I try to demonstrate to the right. But the more sensible way to do is to play on the left side. Have in mind that the fairway where we're going to end up slopes right to left. So aiming too far left is going to be bad for you. That's why I'm aiming a little bit more right to try to just compensate for that slope there. Bounces nicely on the fairway, getting over the rough and keeping myself on the right hand side to not fall down into the rough on the left. The problem we have here from this angle, you can see the big tree that's covering the pin. Yeah, so you need side spin on the second shot, which we do apply with our Titan. However though, you don't have to play with a Titan. You can play with a ball with more side spin. You can even play Katana, Kingmaker, you know, Quasar, because here we don't really have any problem with distance. Ball guideline 2-hole when we have this type of wind, and the reason for that is that we are not having an extended or a compressed ball guideline here. So ball guideline 2-hole adjustment, 10% elevation, true club distance. Center the ball and hit perfect, and you will see the ball either be in or it's going to be very close. And you know, playing like a hole like this, playing a rough bump is definitely the far superior way to attack the pin for a possibility for a drop. And that's something that I do really want to put emphasis on, that bouncing on the fairway is going to be tougher because you're going to have to apply much greater elevation. You're going to have to play bouncing on the fairway approximately 25% elevation, not the 10% as listed. If you play the rough bump, you play 10%. For hole number 6, we're gonna play with our sniper and a navigator ball, and we're gonna go a rough bump. And here I want to say that playing a rough bump here is going to be such a massive advantage compared to playing any other type of play here, because this green is very weird. So if you do get too high up the green, even if you fall down in the direction of the pin, you will come in too hot and you will bounce out. So you're going to either have to bounce on a way on the fairway further back that will still have a lot of rough and sand to clear, that is going to then still have the speed to be not fast enough to get a drop. So in this video here now, I'm going for a rough bump with the ball guideline to the hole, and using the sniper here allows me to play with a very good ball guideline, also with a good accuracy, which means that hitting a great ball is not going to have any danger with it. I'm playing medium distance plus 20, and in the video I would recommend to play minimum distance plus a 20 here, because we are closer to the minimum distance line, and then it wouldn't be as over adjusted as it is in the video. Good chance, in my opinion, on hole number 6. Hole number 6, and this is going to be a tough drive, but I want to take a tough drive to give you a possibility to attacking for the albatross. I'm using my quarterback level 8, and I'm using the quarterback for its accuracy mainly because I do not want a great ball to destroy my possibility to first and foremost lock in the eagle, but also then give myself a chance for the albatross. So 3 to 4 top spin, 2 left spin. Aim with the second bounce into the rough to roll out on the right hand side. center the ball, and hit perfect. You can also see that I'm playing with a Berserker, which is a power 5 ball, and the reason I do that is because of the second shot, not for the drive. Bounce into the rough, and it rolls out lovely. What needs to be said here, you can also play on the left hand side, but playing from there is more or less going to give you an eagle only. So if you do not want to take any risk whatsoever and you feel that the left side drive is a little bit easier for you, then play that, but have in mind that the eagle is more or less going to be your only result from there. Second shot from here, now it's a rough bump. Again, you know me, I like to go aggressive, especially when it comes to these playthroughs, to give you an alternative of a drop on a tough par 5. So I'm using, in this case, my Horizon. And you may wonder, why do I suggest a sniper in the info box? It's because I would love to play the sniper, but I don't have enough topspin if I play with sniper level 7. But if I do have a higher level sniper, then I do have the topspin. So I'm using the Horizon to give myself the topspin. And obviously, I do have a good ball guideline with the Horizon here, which is great, but the accuracy is terrible. So hitting a great ball with Horizon is going to be danger, where hitting a great ball with Sniper is not going to be any danger at all. Adjustment is made, and center the ball and hit perfect, using a little bit of overpower to compensate for falling down into bunker. I know, it is a little technical, this adjust, but again, when it comes to tough holes like this, to give ourselves a chance for a drop, that's something we're gonna have to do. For hole number 3, we're going to go for a rough bump. We're gonna go very aggressive here, because I do believe that this is going to be our best chance for an hole-in-one. Obviously, if you are not interested in taking any risk, even though the reward is big, then you can bounce on the fairway on the left and do just a normal tour play way of going towards the green. You're bouncing on the fairway up towards the pin, but now we're using 2 left spin and a little bit of top spin to get the ball guideline to be just short of pin. One thing to have in mind though is when you do play with lower level clubs is that you have to leave it short, otherwise you will roll too hot and you won't be dropping that shot because you do not have a fully developed ball guideline. Medium distance with a 20% over adjustment here for this shot. It bounces into the rough, rolls out onto the green, a little bit under adjusted, but with a decent speed. So a little bit more in adjustment, we will be having a good shot getting that one to drop on hole number 3. Hole number 2 is a tough par 5, and here I would recommend to play with the quarterback, and I'm playing this one from NMT. And then moving 1 ring to the right. I'm using 3 top spin and 2 left spin to have the ball guideline to point straight down the fairway into that little gap, not gap, but into the more narrow part of the fairway at the top. Maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment, then try to hit perfect. I'm using a Titan ball here to ensure that if I would be rolling short, I will still have enough power on the second shot to be able to attack the pin. I would strongly advise you to not try to blast this ball over the water, because that will most likely not work, and even if you would manage to do that, you will still have the same type of distance towards the pin as you would have otherwise, and that's, I mean, then it just becomes a stupid decision. Second shot, either play with a sniper level 8 or better, and I don't have sniper level 8 or better here, or you do play with the Horizon to give yourself the power, but still having a decent ball guideline. Using 1.5 bar topspin, you can see that I'm playing, 1.8 topspin, and you can see that I'm playing a very aggressive line here, meaning that I'm looking to have the second bounce into the rough to roll up towards the pin. And frankly, this is the only way to drop this shot from distance here. So if you're not interested in attacking for the albatross, use the more wider fairway on the right, use backspin and curl it onto the green to give yourself a safe eagle. But here in this playthrough, I wanted to have every hole to give at least a look at the albatross, even though it might not be dropping in this specific video. They will bounce into rough, the ball rolls out, becoming with a very good speed, just being a little bit too much to the right there, which is obviously very unfortunate here on hole number 2. A tough one to get an albatross on, but with the shot already displayed, it is makeable. Take your game to the next level with our ultimate tournament text guide for expert and master division for this Canada 9-hole cup, where we do have the same wind throughout the whole tournament. This is the way to look back at how it was back in the days where we did have the same wind always throughout the tournament. So make sure to subscribe, use the QR code here on the screen, or go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Obviously, we do not just have 9-hole cup guides. We offer 18-hole tournament guides now for the summer major coming up, but we also do have tour guides and checkpoint challenge, something for everyone and stuff that you can't find anywhere else. So make sure to sign up and try out to be a part of the largest guide community here in Golf Clash. For hole number 1, and now we're gonna go for green, or at least to be very close to green. That we're gonna do by going through the trees. I believe that taking the risk is necessary here, because having to lay up is still gonna, I mean, it's gonna give you a chance, but it's gonna be such a difficult shot playing through the trees on the second shot, because your drive is going to be so dependent on your drive distance. So therefore, we're going for green. We're using the big topper. Doesn't matter what level you have, because you're still not going to be in max distance. And we're going to bounce through the tree, roll into the rough, and land in this instance on the fringe. There will obviously be situations where you will be stuck in the rough, but still, that rough iron is going to be miles easier than having to lay up further away, in my opinion. If you do happen to be wedge, you're gonna play it, you know, the standard EB school version, called with 20% elevation and whatever Powerball number you're using. So hole number 1 should be an eagle, because if you're not getting an eagle here, that will definitely put you in a disadvantage to your opponents. For hole number 7, I like to bounce very close to the green. What I mean with that is that we do want to try to use the ring to box it in between the rough on the right and also the fringe. And this is a green that is big. And obviously it is crucial that you get the ball high up, so you're not falling down the hill again, because that wedge is not going to be easy. And I would say that that's going to be a short iron many of the times as well. That's how far it is from there. So make sure that you get yourself the right backspin or the topspin. But with tailwind, we're using a little bit of backspin and obviously a little bit of side spin as well to compensate for the crosswind. Maximum distance plus 20 should be the adjustment. Here I'm playing max plus 15, which also gives me the result that I miss on the left hand side. I would definitely recommend to use a ball that reduces the wind as much as possible, because that will help you make the proper adjustment. For hole number 4, you will see 2 options here. One where we do lay up, as we do have a headwind, which we're gonna do in headwind and crosswind. If we do have a tailwind, we can actually go for the be around the green area, which also will be displayed here in this playthrough. Maximum distance plus 10 is the adjustment of T. I'm using 4.5 bar topspin and 2 left spin. The goal is to either clip the rough on the other side of the bunker, or to not clip the rough at all and bounce over all the parts of it. But when having 4.5 bar topspin, it's going to be difficult to always avoid the rough, especially when we do play in headwind. Second shot, we're playing with a long iron. Here I would say it's either to play with a less powered ball from the beginning, such as a power 1 or even a power 0 ball if you do want to play with a sniper. But as we do have a rough bump, which will allow us, even with lower level long irons, to have a decent ball guideline, then I would still push it for a long iron instead, because it's going to be easier to play with a long iron than what it will be to play with a sniper. 5% elevation, true club distance. Now we're very close to max, so I will be using maximum distance numbers. So you can see there a roll into the green. We unfortunately do not have speed enough to get the ball to roll towards the hole. But no matter what though, if we lay up, we will have a good chance for a drop if we do play the rough bump. But we all want to get closer to green, obviously. So if we do have the wind for it, then I will show you next in the video what we're gonna do. So after searching for a tailwind for a long time in practice, I got to stay with a headwind. And it's interesting to see that even with a headwind here, we can actually reach over to the green area with a power 5 ball. It is, however, though, an absolute must to have a power 5 ball, I would say, in all winds besides tailwind. If you do have a tailwind, a power 3 ball could be okay. You will still have to play with some overpower. But I think the brilliant part with a power 5 ball here is that you can actually then stretch out and make a better judgment call on how much overpower you will have to use in the specific type of wind directions, as you will then be able to see the first bounce into the rough and count how many rings you're into overpower and stuff like that. Maximum distance plus 10 is the adjustment, and be prepared to always use overpower. But think about this. In the worst case scenario, if you're avoiding the water, which you need to make sure that you use enough overpower to do, then you are going to be in the rough or in the sand as a worst case, which still will be very close to green, which will still be giving you a good chance for a drop, but you will have a birdie at a minimum on your scorecard. So if the wind allows and you have the ball, you have the club, I would definitely recommend to go for it instead of having to lay up. But obviously you are the one that makes the decision for what is best for you. Hole number 9 in headwind is going to be difficult because you're going to have to use overpower. Sure, you can play with a higher powered ball such as a power 4 or power 5, but we're not going to do that in this playthrough. So I'm using, in this case, 3 rings of overpower and trying to hit perfect. 4.5 bar topspin, and my goal is actually to not clip the rough with my second bounce. I want to bounce over the rough and get myself up to a long iron towards the pin. Maximum distance plus 20 is what we're using here. On the second shot, we're playing with the long iron that gives you the best possible ball guideline. Now, this is backbone level 8 for me. But for those of you that do have a Grizzly in level 7 or better, please use that club. It could be B52 level 7 or better as well, but it's more likely in Rookie that you're playing with a Grizzly 7 or better than B52 7 and better. Having a better ball guideline here will help knowing if you aim with too little or too much backspin, and obviously if your direction is correct towards where the pin stands. 5% elevation is what we're using, and then true club distance, as we're very close to minimum distance here, is going to be like 10% club. Center the ball and don't do what I do here, which is hitting great. Then you're obviously going to miss, but a perfect ball is going to be a very good chance for an albatross here on hole number 9. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for a Rookie Division with various wins for the Canada 9-hole cup here in Golf Clash the game. Make sure to scan the QR code here on the screen or use the link patreon.com/golfclashtommy in the description down below and sign up for any of our tour, tournament and checkpoint challenge guides. And thank you once again for watching, and I wish you the best of luck in the Canada 9-hole cup.